Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about butterworts, in particular Mexican butterworts or pinguiculas. Now, Mexican butterworts are a great family of carnivorous plant, and today we are going to be potting one up and talking a little bit about their care and culture. So, Mexican butterworts are a great house plant as long as you have bright conditions. They are great in terrariums, again, as long as you have bright conditions. They're great in my greenhouse here. And at least in some parts of North America, they're great outside all year long. Now, they do go through their seasons where they're in a tight rosette of non-carnivorous leaves. And they have their flush of growth in the warmer weather as well that has more sticky carnivorous leaves on them. They have beautiful flowers. Some have strap-like leaves and others have nice flat leaves. Some are miniature and some are quite large. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and that little bell beside the subscribe button that says all notifications. Check that, and that way you will be notified when we upload more great videos about carnivorous plants, orchids, and anything else that you can possibly think of. So now let's get started. In front of you here we have 5 different ingredients, and the main ingredient for the mix is going to be a peat moss. So this is just a Canadian peat moss. I semi-moistened it ahead of time because if it's dry it's going to really be hard to work with. And then we have 3 different fillers that we could use for drainage. So we have our classic perlite here. This perlite has a random assortment of shapes and sizes. A lot of it is small, a few are big. Then we have a little bit better perlite. Get that smudge off my hand there. This is called popcorn perlite. It can be quite large and chunky and gives good drainage. And then we have my personal favorite here. This is pumice. So this is a nice light rock that is perfect for drainage. It actually floats, it's so light, and aids in drainage. It's one of those great things for pinguiculas. They just seem to love it. Then we can use sand, or we can use, I'm using a dolomite sand. So we want to be careful not to use this mix on other carnivorous plants because this is going to increase the pH of the soil. So that is a dolomite sand there. And because I just wanted to show you this because a lot of people can only get regular perlite. Popcorn perlite's a little bit harder to find. And then pumice here is what we're actually going to be using. So I am going to dump my ingredients into a bowl here. And we're going to mix it up. Let's start with some pumice in the bowl. I'm going to save a little bit of my pumice for a top dressing as well. And then we're going to do about equal parts of peat moss. And then we are going to do the dolomite sand. There we go. I might leave a little bit for a top dressing as well. So if we look in here, you can see all the ingredients are nicely in the bowl. We got to mix them up a little bit. Let me adjust your tripod here so that you can see. What we're going for here is a fairly chunky mix with good drainage. These guys, if kept too wet, can rot fairly easily. Now, I didn't give you an exact measure for the sand. That's something you should just eyeball, and you can see the sand in there. It is probably 25% if I had to guess. And there we go. That is a nice mixture for pinguiculas. Good and chunky, lots of drainage, sand, the dolomite to up the pH a little bit. And now we have the mixture. So now I have got a butterwort that I'm going to be working with today because I want to get it into a better mixture. This is an interesting butterwort to me because it's actually variegated. So if you go in for a closer look, the variegation is, it's not very contrasting on camera here, but you can see it. The newest leaf came out all green, which worried me a little bit, but the next leaf is coming out with quite a bit of contrasting white stripes on. You can see here at my fingertip, it's like white, green, all the way around. So that's some good news. And you can see the whole plant is variegated. Under this lighting, it doesn't show up too much, and it's not super contrasting. There's a nice leaf there. But anyways, I wanted to get this guy into a different mix, and I can show you guys how we do it as we go along. Now I think because I am just repotting this guy, I'm going to use the same pot. He doesn't need anything bigger. And Pinguiculas are fairly easy to move around if you have the right tools. If you don't have the right tools, they are very, very fragile. So they're very hard to ship, especially at larger sizes. But and their roots are fairly non-existent. They go down slightly, so I'm using tweezers here. They go through and lift it up out of the media. And there we have it. I'm going to put it somewhere for safekeeping for now. There was a fungus gnat that just literally got stuck on camera. He's now stuck. Sucker. Give him a little squish. We'll give him some food while he's there. These things are great for getting rid of fungus gnats. Fill this pot with the proper mix for this guy. Now, you're going to want to push it down fairly firm because the peat moss is going to settle. And if you don't pack it firmly, you're going to end up with a Pinguicula way down below the surface of the pot, which is not something I want. So that's pretty tight. Now we're going to go one step further. I'm going to mound it just a little bit right on the top. Let's back you up a little bit so you can see what we're doing here. Sorry about that. There we go. You can see I've created sort of a mound, just like so. And I really work on, I'm not trying to compress the perlite or the media too much, but it just, that's the fact it does settle. So if you don't push it down now, you can't really push it down later. Now with that being mounded, you can see from this direction, I have got the perfect little spot to plant the plant again. Now we can see from underneath what I'm dealing with here, hopefully. Let's see if we can get a good view of it. There's not much of a root system. The roots are white. They go down slightly. They'll send out somewhat of aerial roots, but the roots can't be relied on too heavily for actually anchoring the plant down. Make a little indent. The reason I've mounded it first is so that it provides some extra drainage for the plant. And now I'm going to sit this guy right back in there and settle him in. With these tweezers, I can get in and push it down firmly. Without the tweezers, honestly, it would be very hard to do this because you would have to push down on the Pinguicula itself, and which is going to crush it. By flipping it upside down, I accidentally got some dirt on it, which kind of sucks. I always hate that, but it is what it is. Once I give it a little misting, I will clean off the dirt. But there we have it. So that is a freshly potted Pinguicula. Now, this guy is going to be happy in this pot probably for many years. Why don't we give it a bit of a top dressing here? One thing I find, and you'll see from just the footage in the greenhouse, is it's humid in the greenhouse, so humid that moss tends to grow quite easily on all of my mixes like this. So hopefully I can discourage it a little bit, make it a little bit prettier with some of this extra pumice and stuff like that around as well. Make it look a little more natural. They come from nice rocky environments. So and honestly, in a few weeks time when the media settles a little bit, I could probably redo that top dressing very nicely and it would look really good. So anyways, there we have it. We'll give it a quick misting, and then you can see the clean Pinguicula. Normally I don't like to spray these plants too much, but just for now to clean it off a bit. There we go. And you can even spray the media just a slight amount. These guys here, normally I bottom water them, so they don't get top watered very often at all. And there we have it, from start to finish, repotting a Pinguicula. So I hope you like this video. Remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button and that little bell next to the subscribe button for all notifications, so you can be notified whenever I upload videos like this or other cool videos to help you care for your plants better. We looked at Pinguicula potting mixes today. We potted one up together, and I showed you a few different varieties of what the Pinguiculas look like, the Mexican Butterworts. These guys are great for getting rid of fungus gnats in your grow space. I definitely highly recommend them. They have beautiful flowers and they're easy to grow. So I hope you like this video, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.